Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to today's reading. I was thinking we would do a no contact reading. It felt right to me. And so this is for those of you who have someone on your mind that you are not currently in contact with for whatever reason. I'm hoping these flowers don't wilt as we do this reading, but we'll see what happens. I also just woke up from a nap, so if you see nap wrinkles on my arms, that's why. We've got 3 groups to choose from today, and so I'm going to show you each of these so you can make a decision. We've got these little bottles I'm going to show you, and let's take a closer look. For group number 1, we have this snake shed. For group number 2, we have this protection spell bottle. For group number 3, we have these eggshells in a bottle that my sister sent me, also for protection. Okay, so those are your options. Obviously, take all the time you need to choose which one feels right. We are going to do a short energy check just to make sure that it is your group. So take your time, meet me in your reading when you're ready, and we'll get into it. Hi, group 1. Welcome to your reading. As a reminder, this is going to be a no contact reading about what the person you're not in contact with is currently feeling about you and what they would say to you, what their spirit guides would say to you, etc. So you chose the snake shed. We're going to go ahead and set that aside. These are some oracle cards we will take a quick look at the end. And let's go ahead and get into your tarot. We're going to do a quick energy check just to confirm if this is your reading. So we're going to look at you and your person really quickly and just get a little bit of basic information. We are using the Catacorn Tarot deck today for all groups. Okay. So let's get a card for group 1's energy and what they've been dealing with in this connection. We've got the 9 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords. And group 1's person that they are not in contact with, we've got the 7 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. And let's take a look here. So group 1, it looks like this kind of feels like the before and after. And it looks like, you know, this relationship started out very abundant and it felt like there was so much potential. And it felt like you had so much to give and maybe you felt like you were receiving a lot in the beginning. And then it ended up with so much either betrayal or pain or feeling like you were so totally misunderstood. And you've been very, very affected by what happened here. And it feels like there's a part of you, like it feels like you are both this cat and this owl. And it feels like there's a part of you that felt like you should have been wiser. You should have seen what was happening. Oh, yeah. Okay, so also like, this looks like a parrot to me. I'm not 100% sure that's what it is. But it's like, I'm hearing like a parrot, like copycatting what you say. And so what I'm feeling is like you felt like this person may have sort of not copied you, but maybe mirrored you in some way to seem like you were more similar than you were. And so it feels like you should have been wiser to that. Like it was almost too good to be true. Why would someone match you on that many levels? And it was so quick. Like this does feel like love bombing energy to me a little bit. It feels like even if this other person didn't do it intentionally, they sort of mirrored you because that's what they do. And it led you to believe that you were going to have this like incredible relationship with this person. I mean, this might be friendship. This might be romantic. I don't know. It might have even been a job situation where they manipulated you in some way to make it seem like it was so much better than it was. And then you end up feeling at the end of this, like in a completely different space. I mean, that might just be emotionally, but maybe you were affected physically, maybe in other ways. And you really think you should have been wiser. It's like now you realize some of these things, but you also were sort of idealistic and hopeful. And, you know, I think that you were in a really good space possibly at the beginning of this relationship, and you had so much to share and give. And you just like look so sweet. You have this sweet energy and openness. And like, it's almost like you were just kind of living life and like enjoying life and looking out the window, and you turned around and here was this person. And it's like, wow, let's add this to my life. And then you ended up here. And it makes me feel a little bit emotional, actually. Like, I think that you've gone through a lot of really difficult emotions, a lot of sadness, a lot of grief. There's certainly feelings of betrayal here. I don't know what this person did to betray you. It may just even be that they betrayed you by being a different person than they presented themselves at, or it could be much bigger betrayal. But because this is the Ten of Swords here, and there are so many swords in this figure's back, it's like, I don't think you've just been betrayed in one way. I think you've been betrayed over and over. And whether that's like you found out all of these things that this person did to hurt you, and you found out later, like maybe they were being hidden from you, or you just got hurt and you got hurt and you got hurt and you got hurt, and it just built up until like you reached this state of exhaustion and pain. And certainly this is an ending here, and that this would be why you are no contact. I imagine that you're the one that chose this, but it's of course possible that they did, and that could even be why it hurts so bad, because you kept giving this person chance after chance after chance after chance, and then they still left, or they still fucked you over in some way. It does feel like you've at least started the processing. I don't think that this is like so fresh that it happened yesterday. I think that you've been moving through this for at least a little bit, or at least you were preparing yourself while you were still in contact. But it definitely is, it feels like you've beat yourself up just a little bit. And I don't think that's really fair to you based on what the energy I've gotten so far, just because of like how you were showing up originally. Of course, we'll get more information, but I am having the sense that this person hurt you quite a lot, and you're left picking up the pieces. And it's like you see the glasses fell off of its face. Like, I think that you were put into a fog as well, and you were unable to clearly see anymore. Like, you may have known something was so wrong, but again, like, I'm feeling like so much of your emotional state has been like very upset, very sad, a lot of grief. And I think that You might also be upset with yourself for not having more clarity while you were in this situation, but it isn't your fault, because the fog that was created by this person and possibly their manipulation or their lies or their misrepresentation of themselves or something like that has created a fog that made it impossible for you to fully see clearly. And also we have like this moon here, which is reminding me of the moon, and how a lot of times that card can indicate confusion and like an inability to see clearly. And like, I think that this person created that for you, and you're still kind of regaining your sense of clarity. And it's like one day you might feel better, one day you might feel worse. It's like this kind of back and forth. And yeah, I'm still feeling the emotion. I think it's still pretty strong for you, at least some days when you're still sorting through what happened to you and what parts of it may have been your fault and what parts of it were not. And, you know, it's like, was it abuse? Do they have a mental illness? Like, you're kind of going through these different thoughts of like, what happened, you know? And when we look at this other person, and if we also say this is sort of like the beginning to the end or until now, with the 7 of Cups, it feels like in this particular case, this person was a daydreamer, or is, and maybe at the start of a relationship of some kind, they fantasize about all the possibilities. And that's common, right? Like we all kind of do that probably, or most of us, many of us, but it's being pointed out in this person for some reason. And I think that's because they have a proneness to idealization at the beginning of a relationship. And it's like, oh, like, you know, they were thinking this person, you, could fulfill all their dreams, all their needs. Like, you could be their everything. You could save them. It's like you were already in a pretty good place. Whether you think you were, like, I mean, if you know you weren't in a good place, this is probably not your reading, but like, you may think like you still had a long way to go, or that you still do, but you're being shown as like, having done all this growth, being pretty self-aware, being pretty good on your own. Like, you were in a pretty good space. This person had lots of needs that they still needed fulfilled, that they were not fulfilling themselves. They may have thought they were, but, you know, in their imagination and in their mind, they were expecting a partner or a friend or someone or you to fulfill all these desires and needs that they have that are still kind of unmet. Like, this is all in imagination. You're surrounded by real plants, real coins, like real healthy energy with your eyes wide open, you know? And this person has their eyes closed. They do have, you know, this bed here, they have a start to something, but they're otherwise just surrounded by imagination and thought and like what ifs and like unfulfilled needs. And so I think that they idealized you. And I think that if they did like love bomb, if we want to use that term, I don't think it was intentional, which, you know, a lot of times I don't think the stuff is necessarily conscious or intentional. But anyway, that's what it looks like they did. And it was like, you can provide play and nourishment and like joking around and traditions and like equality and like all this stuff. And like, I feel like as I look at this cup with this cat's face here, it makes me want to compare it to this one. It's like, they didn't see you fully clearly. They see you with your eyes open. They see you as like, they see you sort of, but it's not you. So that's another indication to me that they weren't seeing you clearly and that they put you on a pedestal in a way. And again, most of us probably do that to a degree, because when you don't fully know somebody, you have to make some assumptions, or you tend to make some assumptions. But anyway, that's the message. Like, that was what was happening, which brings us down to the Six of Pentacles here. And it looks, really positive, which kind of makes me think like something feels unfair here to you. I think, okay, on the one hand, if this is present, you may not fully know what's going on in their life, and you may be imagining that it is really great and that they're like surrounded by love and protection. And like, it's like, hey, like I used to be there and I'm here, and like now they get to have everything that I had and that they took from me. Like, it's this energy of like, what the hell, they came out of this better and I lost everything in some way. And there's just this feeling of injustice. Like, there's this feeling of like them being surrounded by people who don't see them the way that you saw them, because they're still surface level with this person. And they're like, oh, poor baby, we'll take care of you. And like, it seems like they might have friends or family or community around them that is babying them in some way, or protecting them, or taking care of them, or seeing them in this really positive light. And there's a sense of unfairness to that. And there's also a sense that like, you might just be assuming that they're doing really well, or you may know that they are, and it just feels really unfair. There was something else coming through with this. Let me take a second and see if I can bring it back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but also like, I think that they're the child in this, This is someone who in some way is immature. I would assume that would be emotionally immature, because of everything else that we're seeing here. And instead of creating their own growth and going within and reflecting and having self-awareness like you have done for a long time, they are allowing other people to take care of them, which is giving them that sense of that. And it is unfair if that's what's happening. But I have this feeling that we don't know that that's actually what's happening. I think that might be more how you're perceiving things. Okay, so that was a longer energy check than I anticipated. So let's go ahead and get into your other messages here. So we're going to look at how this person actually is currently feeling about you, just because I'm sure you are probably curious about that. Okay, we're going to pull some more actually. Okay, so we have the Four of Cups. We have the Eight of Wands, the Empress, and the Moon. So how, group one, is your person feeling about you currently? So it felt like I needed to pull more cards, so I don't know if I'll do this for the other groups or not, but this person might be feeling a lot of different things about you, because we do have 4 cards here. So let's take a look. Yeah, it really feels kind of all over the place. Like day to day, minute by minute, hour by hour, they may be feeling different things about you. I think at times they feel, I feel like this comes up in readings a lot, but I think that they feel superior to you in some ways, or they pretend to in order to make themselves feel better. I think that they sometimes feel confused about what happened and what the truth is. And I think that they are sometimes deluding themselves about that. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't think they perceive you clearly, or the way that you perceive things. Um, and they're, and I think that they constantly are like this Eight of Wands makes me think that they are constantly running to other activities to distract themselves, to get their like needs met, instead of like actually doing the self-reflection necessary. It's like they're so focused on themselves. That's what it is. There's something here about them being so focused on themselves, and not in a way where they are being like super self-reflective or where they're taking seriously the pain that they caused another person. I think that there is a pretense of self-reflection. Like they're pretending to, in a way. I don't even know if they realize they're pretending to, if that makes sense. It feels like what it feels like is they are quote unquote doing the work in a performative way. Even when it's just themselves, I think that they are being performative to themselves too. That's what it's like. It's like, I think that they're either too scared to see the truth of how they harmed someone, or it is a defense mechanism from childhood or something like that. Like, they have to pretend to themselves that they are doing better in the world than they are doing, because otherwise everything would fall apart. It's that kind of energy. And when they think about you, I think they're trying to distract themselves. I think they're trying to distract themselves from thinking too deeply about you. I think if they do think about you, it's pretty shallow. I think that they still blame you for some things that have happened, whether or not it was your fault. But I get the sense that they're blaming you for things that they did, or ways that they felt because of you in some way. I think that this Four of Cups is interesting. It's making me think that, one, I think that they're waiting to hear from you. I think they want to hear from you, or they're like hoping to, or like it would give them a boost in some way. It's almost like a drug, but not in like a way where it's like an addictive quality. It's just like it's like it's more like their caffeine in the morning. If they drink coffee, it's like if they didn't have coffee that morning, they're like, oh, like I just want my coffee, but it's not like heroin. You know what I mean? Like, am I making sense? They're like, I want to hear from this person. I want to hear from group one. Are they going to message me? Let me check, I think they want to hear from you, and they feel like you're ignoring them, or like you took this too seriously. It also feels like when they do look for truth or try to reflect, they aren't finding it. They're looking and they're looking, and they looked in this cup and they looked in this cup and they looked in this cup, and someone's trying to hand them this cup, which actually has perhaps what they're looking for, but they're so focused on trying to find it right here. They're not looking in the right place. And so it's like this was how they're feeling about you, but it feels more like how they're feeling about the situation when it comes into their thoughts. I think that as of right now, they're still living very shallowly, and they're pretending to do the work in some way. I don't know if they are in therapy and they are giving their perspective, a distorted view of things. Again, we all have our own perspective of the things that happen. It doesn't make one person's true and one person's not true, but I do think that their perspective lacks a lot of clarity and truth. And it's like whoever they're talking to about this, if they're talking to somebody about it, or their friends or something like that, their family, they're not telling the truth. And I don't know if they even realize they're not, but they are looking for clarity. They are looking for a lot of the same things you're looking for, but they're not looking deep enough. They're not looking in the right places. They're not taking it seriously enough. They're not willing to see how they hurt somebody. They might feel upset by the situation, but their emotions about it also seem kind of surface level at the moment. That doesn't mean that's how it is all the time. It actually seems like day to day to day, they feel very differently about it. And I think that, oh yeah, okay. So I think with some of these people for group 1, they also are looking in the wrong places by distracting themselves. So instead of like seeking truth in this situation, when they feel something about you or feel something about this or they miss you, they look to substances, alcohol, games, distractions with friends, TV. It's like whatever they can do to distract themselves, they will focus on that instead. And so it keeps them surface level. I do get the sense that some of these people are certainly using a substance to stay on the surface. Yeah, they're not going deep. They're just like, they're running. Whenever they get close to the truth, they run. And I think that they need to see themselves as good in some way, that they are maybe not good. And this isn't to say that this person is bad. Like, I think even though you ended up so hurt, and they definitely did things to betray you and hurt you, and it is bad. I think in this particular case, this person isn't like super conscious about it. I think that that's part of the reason that you cared about this person, because there is so much to love, an innocence, a playfulness, a sweetness. But it keeps them like, again, I want to say surface level. It keeps them right here. They're not willing to go away from this idea of themselves because it would destroy what they've built. And what they've built is not this, what you built for yourself. Like, you've done healing, you've looked within, you've protected yourself, you have created like an energetic home for yourself that's really, really beautiful. And you are going to get back to that. If you feel like you have lost it, it's coming back. You're coming back home to yourself. But this person's home that they built for themselves is like, it's like you've slowly built the most beautiful home, brick by brick. Like, you know, it's got all these beautiful touches and it's secure and it's safe and it's in a beautiful location. And they like put a bed in like a shack, and they were like, let me hang a picture up. You know, like, this isn't how, I'm not saying this is how your actual homes look, but it's something like that. Like, energetically, they don't know how to build the same kind of home that you built. And I think that's part of the mismatch between you. I think that they keep things at a level that doesn't create foundational support, something like that. And it kind of makes me sad too, because I think that they really would have a hard time doing this on their own, and they absolutely need help doing it. But the only way that they're going to get true help doing this is if they're honest. And part of the home that they've built for themselves is not based in honesty. I hope this makes sense. But they've made like things look very pretty. Like, maybe it's not a shack, you know what I mean? But it's like, or it's like someone else built the home and like didn't do a very good job, and it looks pretty, but it's just falling apart. But they're like doing everything they can to run from that. And so I don't think that if you were looking to hear that they still care about you, they do still care about you. And I hate to say this, but it just feels very shallow at the moment. And I think that's because of their distractions. I think if they faced themselves, they would feel grief, because I think that you gave them so much and they weren't ready for it, or they couldn't handle it, or they felt insecure because of it. I don't know exactly what it was, but when they face themselves, if they face themselves, the devastation of losing what they had with you, yeah, that's where the emotion is coming in. There's emotion there, but they're hiding from it. And it's really sad. And when they face it, it's actually going to be really, really sad. And by that point, you're probably going to be back here, you know? Let's go ahead and see what's next. I could just keep talking, but this is going to get way too long. Okay, so let's see what they would say to you right now if they were able to be fully honest. Just going to move these out of the way. Okay, so what would this person say to group one if they could be fully honest? We've got judgment. We've got the 10 of Wands. Let's start there. If they were being truly honest with themselves and with you, they have a lot of shame that they are carrying. I think that there's more here in the judgment card, but I think that part of what this is that they are judging themselves deep down. I think that, and again, like the emotion is here. If they face this shame, like there's so much sadness and pain with that. I think that not only do they feel so much shame for what they put you through, but what they've put other people through. I don't think this is the first time that they've treated somebody like this. And they don't want you to see this. And they don't want to have to face it themselves. They want to live in fantasy land where where they get to be the judge, where they get to decide what they do is great and people love them and they're amazing. But the truth of it at the core underneath is that they're actually judging themselves quite harshly. This makes me think about, and they may think you were judgmental because maybe you were, I don't know, but you may have said something or some things that were very close to the truth of how they think about themselves, or it was maybe something sort of negative that you told them about themselves, like, why do you lie? Something like that. And they're like, I don't lie, but it's like, they know that they lie deep down. Of course they do. If they're out there lying all the time, they've got to know they're lying some of the time. And so it hit a part of them when you said something that made it so that their fantasy of themselves isn't true. And so you hit them somewhere deep in that way that made them really uncomfortable and started to sort of shatter their illusion of themselves. And it's like, if we're using the lying example, if they face that they lied, and if they look at it truly, deeply, honestly, the shame is so big. It's so great that it is overwhelming. It's a huge burden to them that they feel like they can't have witnesses to that. They can only have witnesses to their good behavior, like the self that they've created. This, perhaps it's like they think they're moral and ethical and kind and compassionate and all these things, that they might have some of those qualities, but they also have these other qualities, if that's making sense. And they feel like if they face their shadow qualities, which, we all have some, right? If they face them, it's going to be their downfall. They won't have anyone in their life. Like, they won't feel worthy of having anyone in their life anymore. And, that's part of the reason they're not truthful with themselves or with others. Because they're so afraid that if they're going to lose all the good about them, and it's the good will have been completely fake, like a facade. And so then they will just wither away with no one who loves them. And it will feel so hard to move forward. So if they're being fully honest with you, they would have to be fully honest with themselves. And if they are, I think that they are so sorry for what they did. But even more than being sorry, like I think they're sorry for themselves. I think that they are more worried about their image than they are about how they hurt you, unfortunately. And it's not about you or anyone else they hurt, even though, like, how could it not be? I'm sure you would love a sincere apology or something, or to see change in them. I mean, maybe you don't ever want to speak to them again. I don't know. But if they're being truthful, their shame is just huge. It's huge. I don't think they're facing it, but it's like overwhelming. They feel like if they face it again, like they are a bad person, and then they will be doomed to being bad. But if they live in their illusion, then they are wonderful. People love them. They're charismatic. They are, they bring joy and happiness to people. This might be someone who plays music. This might be someone who creates in some way that people enjoy, or they might this might be someone who is literally a performer of some kind, and that also gets them a lot of the attention and validation they need to continue this illusion that they are all good in some way. And it's also like pointing out to me that, like, if they were being fully honest with you, they would let you know, like, yes, I've been performative. I've been performing love in certain ways. I've been performing like personality in certain ways. It's like a lot of what you thought you were getting from them was performative, and they would admit that. And I think that you have seen the real them, good and bad. I don't think just one side or the other is the true them. I think, like everybody, there is good and bad. There's like a hurt little part of them from when they were very, very young. And this is where a lot of this started. And that's where they learned that certain behaviors and certain tactics and certain things would get them the love and validation and attention they needed to feel okay. Because they may have been neglected. They may have not gotten what they needed in some way. And so they learned to get a version of that from other people. And I think that this is a charmer. I think that this person really charms people quite easily and quite quickly. It's like they sort of sing a siren song in some way. But they're not even present with the attention they're getting and the love that they're getting. And I think that's part of the problem. I think people are giving them genuine love, but they're not even fully present with it. Like, they need it. They need that validation and the attention. But like, you know, look at this figure, like just looking off into the distance, not even paying attention. It's like they're lost in imagination, in thought, in like in wanting. That's what it feels like. Like what they want is what they focus on. And even when they have what they want, they can't see it. They can't feel it. And I think that they would let you know, they do feel emotional. So if they ever are honest with themselves, like, let me tell you, they don't feel okay about what happened. But I think that they would tell you that they're sorry because this is where it gets emotional. When they are honest with themselves, if they could also be honest with you, they would tell you that they now see everything that you offered them. That you offered them so much love. You gave so much on so many levels, like, you know, emotionally, maybe physically, maybe materially, you know, there's so many ways that you can give to somebody. And I think that they would let you know that they see it now. And they wished, I think this is why it feels so emotional, is because they wish they had appreciated it and wish they hadn't lost you. Because I think at some point they might get to that point and they will realize the depth of what they lost. And that's going to be a very painful experience. I'm sure you can hear the emotion in my voice. I think also something else that's happening is as they continue to perform in ways in life, because they are continuing to do that, they are thinking about you, even though there are other people giving them attention and validation and like wanting to give to them and like maybe just like also like amazing people. There's a part of them that can't stop thinking about you, even if they try to run from it, even if they try to distract themselves from it, even if they are getting close to other people instead. There's a part of them that won't stop thinking about you because I think that you fulfilled something within them that maybe hasn't been fulfilled ever before by anyone else, or in such a unique way that they can't forget you. And they would let you know that they never stopped thinking about you. Yep. Okay. Let's see what their higher self or their spirit guides might want to tell you. Let's get messages from that higher perspective about this situation. We've got the Chariot. And we've got the Two of Wands. So their higher self and their spirit guides, I think that they want to acknowledge what you've been through with them and that you weren't wrong. And you have to take care of yourself. They want you to take care of yourself, to move toward your dreams, toward your health, toward love, toward loving yourself, back toward the groundedness and safety you felt within yourself in the beginning. They want you to, move toward your dreams and goals in life, you know, whatever those are. If there are places you want to go, it's time to start making those plans. If there are projects you want to undertake, it's time to, they want you to get into the planning stage if you've been avoiding that. Or, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, they want you to focus on that. They want you to focus away from this person and thoughts about this person and move toward what's important to you and what will give you life again. And the more that you go into this planning, the more you're able to refocus, you will find yourself moving a lot more quickly away from the pain of this I think that they want to acknowledge that you are still dealing with pain, even if you have been making effort to move forward, and that you have help in moving forward. I think this person's spirit guides are actually helping you along with your own spirit guides. I think that they believe in you, and they love you too, and they don't want you to keep yourself locked in to thoughts about a person that has to do their own work. You can't help them through it. You tried. And you got really hurt in the process. And I think that they want you to recover. They want you to come back to a state of health and well-being and balance, and to get in touch with what's important to you. Yeah, it feels like you've kind of been slogging through and having a lot of focus on this person, and they really want you to move away from that and back to yourself, and they are willing to help you. Absolutely. I think it's time to rediscover things about yourself and who you are, and especially what you've learned from this, and find your inspiration and passion and motivation again. They know you've really been through it emotionally, and they want to take you out of that energy, and they're encouraging you to get back to where you need to go. And just just start planning. You don't have to do everything right now. There's just a feeling of just start thinking, start planning, writing lists, like jotting things down, writing down your wishes even. Yeah, they just want you to like kind of leave what happened and move forward towards yourself, and just find yourself again. Find your passion again. That's really it. It's just like slowly find yourself refocusing, thinking about your goals. Let's look at your oracle cards last and see if we've got any other messages for you. So we have teach and share, instill, instruct, educate. Diving into new depths, there is a deeper meaning to what is happening. You might be looking at this from the surface and missing what is really going on. Take a moment to pause and breathe. Allow yourself to dive deeper into what it is you are feeling about your current situation. We've got, how's this pronounced? Aragonite? Release your emotional baggage. And then we have journey, crystal ball, spirit realm, carnation, spiritual final decision, suitcase, new experiences, potion, meditate, scissors, cut away, discard old thoughts. Okay. So, so this is also talking about, well, what's weird is like, look at these colors. This is like so out of place. I almost wonder if this is more a message about what this other person is doing or needs to do, or like if this other person stumbles upon this reading. So if you, like, I highly doubt someone would watch this and relate to the other person, but who knows? Maybe you're finally admitting you hurt somebody. But this other person, I think, needs to dive to new depths, away from the surface and get to the truth of things. But also, you know, if you are kind of staying also on a surface of like feeling really emotional about this and not knowing how to heal or to move on from this, allow yourself to be emotional and dive deeper into it, and allow yourself to feel the depths of the grief that you've been going through so that you can move through it, because you are meant to move forward. I mean, you know, I was getting messages about you taking a trip or moving forward in some way. And look at this, taking a journey and packing a suitcase and having new experiences. So if something you've been wanting to do is travel or take a trip, or even like go visit someone you know somewhere for comfort, this is an indication that you absolutely should do that, and you should plan on that. And this is talking about your own connection to the spiritual realm and to your intuition. And it's time to tune in and see what's important to you and put yourself back on that path and make the decision to, release your emotional baggage. So it is time to face the emotions. You may already be, but it's time to move through them, to release that emotional tie that you have to this person. I don't think at this time you are meant to be in contact with them. That's not really a question that we asked in this reading, but I think they have a lot of work to do that you've already done. And for them to catch up to you, you don't even need to think about that right now. I don't know that they will. And so it's time to do what you can to release your attachment to this person. And scissors, cut away, discard old thoughts, release your emotional baggage. Do a cord cutting, do whatever you can to release your attachment to this and move through the emotions of what you went through and move forward. And it's like, release the baggage you've been carrying with this person, and it's time to pick something up, pick up a new bag by having new experiences. Do what you've been wanting to do, at least start the process of moving toward it. You don't have to hurry, but once you start doing those things that you want to do and you feel called to do, you will realize that you have this suitcase of new experiences, and you've released this suitcase that you were carrying with like the emotional baggage from this relationship. And then you will find that you have something to offer other people. Or this may be something, maybe you've always wanted to teach something that is not related to this. And this is also an indication to move toward that. But I think that what you have gone through in this experience and what you continue to go through while you process these emotions is going to help other people. I don't know what form that will take for you, but you will share your story and your experiences and the wisdom that you've gained from this in some way that is going to help other people move through this as well. And this does feel like it could be very spiritual if you are a spiritual person. But also you are finding your stability and security again, and like finding like your home within yourself and feelings of abundance again, instead of the lack that was created in this relationship because you started out so abundant, and you're going to get there again. And I think that's it, actually. Okay. So group 1, that's all I've got for you today. I hope it was helpful. Thank you for letting me read for you. Let me know how it resonated if you can. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, group 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the protection spell bottle. We've got oracle cards here we're going to look at the end. We're going to use the Catacorn Tarot today to pull cards for you on your situation. This is a reading on a no contact situation, someone that you are not currently in contact with. And we are going to do a short energy check to look at you and the person on your mind. And then we will look at how they currently feel about you, what they would say to you right now if they were being fully honest, and what their higher self or their spirit guides would want to tell you. And then any final messages in the oracle cards. So let's go ahead and just get into it, shall we? Okay. So group 2, did I say group 2 in the beginning? I hope so. Whoops. Okay. Tell me a little bit about group 2. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised. These cards are acting so chaotic. Will you tell me about group 2's person? Thank you. Okay. I should mention that the energies can be switched, but I have the feeling that you feel like you messed up, and that's why you're not in contact with this person. And so it makes me think the other person probably decided to halt communication. Yeah, I think that you definitely feel like you messed up. And I think you really, really want to fix it. And I don't know if you feel like, I think you either don't know how, or you don't know if this person is going to be open to it. Yeah, I really think that's what's happening. So you probably know right away if this is your reading. So the energy that we have over here, which we're looking at you, but I do have the feeling that maybe this could be reversed for some people. We'll see if that relates to you. But so we have the 5 of Cups, we have the 8 of Wands, we have the Magician and Temperance. I think I forgot to say that. But this being you here on the left, a lot of times, the 5 of Cups is going to be like, mourning and loss and sadness. And I do think that's what you're going through, but I think that you feel like it's your fault. That's strongly what I'm feeling. And I think that you think the other person is doing just fine without you, and maybe better off without you. I think you see this other person as like powerful and beautiful in some way, like their energy is beautiful, or they're an attractive person, that they know what they're doing and they're making moves in the world and they have everything at their disposal, and that they're like literally an angel in some way. And I think this is how you see them and how you are currently seeing yourself, because I think that you feel possibly guilt for something that you did, or remorse, or even just like, shit, like, why did I do that? I messed it all up. I had this amazing person in my life and I messed it up. And like, I think that you are sort of getting yourself out of this energy at times by thinking about what you could do to fix it. Like, maybe you're making a list, maybe you're consulting other people, maybe you're just thinking about it, but it's like, okay, like if I could just figure out how to fix this, everything would be okay. And I think maybe that gives you some energy. And you want to like run toward this person. I think that you really miss them. I don't know how long it's been that you have stopped contact. I feel that for some of you, it has not been that long, but of course it could be a while, but you've just continued to kind of feel this way. I think you really realized the magnitude of what you lost after something happened. So I don't know if you did something that you regret or something that upset them and they didn't understand because you didn't have a chance to explain, or if it was a series of events. I think that might be the case. Like, it wasn't just one thing and they didn't want to deal with it anymore. It feels like something like that. And I am really like, I'm not saying that you're bad and they're good. Please don't take it that way. This feels more like what you're thinking and feeling, that you've messed up and that you lost something great. That's what it feels like to me. And that you think this person is just off, like doing great on their own, whether they're with people or not. They're like just fine being a majestic, magical being that they've always been. Or you might feel like you didn't appreciate it, or you didn't feel good enough for them. This might be a worth issue for you of feeling like you weren't worthy of them. And maybe you feel like that's where your mistakes came from, that maybe you took actions that you regret out of a sense of insecurity or a lack of self-worth. And, it, like, my heart goes out to you if that's how you're feeling, because it's like you feel so small and this person feels so expansive to you and you regret it. It's like you lost someone so great. That's what it feels like. And you don't know if you can get them back. And then you have this energy of like, I want to fix this. I want to go tell this person how I feel and what I did wrong. And yeah, it's like, you're having these ideas, or you will have these ideas of what to do, and you wonder if they'll be open to it. And I think that you may even think that they came out kind of unscathed. Like they were like, no, I don't want to do this, but like you're the only one suffering. It might be that way, or it might just be that you feel like you lost somebody wonderful. So let's see how this person is currently feeling about you. We've got the 2 of Pentacles. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. We'll pull a couple more. I'm getting sort of like a nauseous feeling from you. Like, yeah, like you feel like you messed up and it's eating at you a little bit. And you want to fix it. And I think that you feel like if you can't fix it, like this is going to eat at you for the rest of your life. That's what it feels like to me. Not that that's what will happen, but what you think is going to happen. Okay, we have the 3 of Wands. We've got the 6 of Cups. So how is your person currently feeling about you? I think in some ways they are doing their own thing a little bit. I think that they are trying to come into a place of balance and reciprocity with their relationships, and like kind of exploring new things and finding comfort in community and family and maybe work. However, I don't think so. In your reading, this feels like how you are seeing them. And I don't think that it's totally accurate. I think that it's a little overblown. Like, I think what's actually happening with them is a lot calmer and less like magical. I don't know how to say this, but what they're feeling about you, I think that there is there's some hoping that you're doing okay and that you're finding the things that ground you and help you feel good. I think that they're trying to keep themselves like healthy and balanced and not falling into like a hole about this. I think that they are putting a lot of their focus on work, home, maybe family, maybe like pets, nourishing themselves. There is a feeling of them sort of distracting themselves from thoughts about this a little bit and trying to keep themselves balanced. But, this 3 of Wands makes me think that they are thinking about you. It's like this, to me, when I look at this card, they are the cat and you are the mouse in the picture, I think that they might still have pictures up of you or have things that you gave them around, or they might look at pictures of you or sometimes like look at your texts or something like that. But also they sort of like, you're always presently there still. And there's some nostalgia there. And they are also, I think, trying to distract themselves from focusing too much on that or on you. And they also can't help but like be drawn back to that. Although, so for some of you, I do think that, not that you messed up, but that there were actions that were taken that did create a rift between you. But I think for some of you, you've idealized this person. There's like a couple different energies I'm feeling. So for some of you, I do feel like the person on your mind is not as like magical as you're making them out to be. And they may be like quite charismatic and like have like a big charming personality that charms people and makes them feel special. And I do think this person has a high level of self-worth and like a high level of self-value. But they might, I don't want to say use people. It's kind of hard for me to explain this energy for some reason. Like, you'll relate to this if this is true for you, because I think there are kind of two groups within this group a little bit. Like, for some of you, this person might be like larger than life and seems really intense and cool and like all this stuff. And you feel like you lost this wonderful person, but maybe you didn't. Maybe what you did to like quote unquote mess it up actually freed you from a situation where this person was always going to be the center of attention, like so magnetic and so like interesting to everybody. And like you were always going to feel kind of like small and worthless in some way that isn't true. So I don't know if you'll relate to that energy or not, but it does seem like that's here for some people. But yeah, I do think that as it stands right now, you are more affected by the situation than this person is. And it's not because you fucked up and they're just like living an amazing life without you. But I think it's because you might be a more sensitive person than this person. And they are somehow more able to distract themselves than you are, or because you feel at fault in some way, it weighs on you and they have a sense of lightness. But I do think with some of these people, you know, this sort of energy came through in group one as well, of like, they're sort of staying surface level. And I think that's sort of happening with this group too. Your person is sort of focusing on things that have nothing to do with you in order to feel good. And so I'm worried that your feelings are being hurt because they're not thinking about you more. But I don't think this is an energy that is necessarily lasting. I think it's just what's currently happening is they're focusing more on work or like other people in their lives and balance and health and things like that. But they still think about you. You know, you did mean something. You do mean something. But right now, they're focusing elsewhere on their happiness, whether that's real or not. And you certainly made an impact, but it might be in their nature to just move along and keep going. rather than sit with the feelings. Like this might be the type of person who you may have noticed they didn't have the level of sensitivity or emotional depth or intensity that you had. That, you know, maybe you never saw them cry. Maybe they never seem to really get that upset because like they don't. Yeah, this could be someone who just isn't overly emotional, and they may have had a lot of hard things that have happened in their life, and they just, the way that they continue to have a good life is to sort of put it in the background and focus on other things. And that might be what's happening here. I think this is going to be a much shorter reading than group one because there aren't as many emotions and like details. I don't know if you didn't know this person very long, because it feels like you didn't. It feels like this was a shorter relationship, but it had so much potential, or so much that you felt like was going to be great. And I just feel like for some reason you feel so small in comparison to them, and like you aren't worth them. But I don't think that's true at all. I do think that there is a difference in your levels of self-worth, and not because this person is worth more, not at all. I think that maybe this person was raised to believe in themselves, and like maybe grew up being validated for everything, and maybe like having a lot of successes in their life, or healthy, just somehow they have like a healthier self-worth. And I think that part of the reason that that's what's coming through here is because more than having contact with this person again or fixing something with them, the message for you is actually about your feelings of worth and value. And you could also have like nourishment and love and joy and like feel comfortable as yourself in your body in the world. And I think that you just for some reason have been affected. Your worth has been affected. Of course, that could have happened in childhood. It could have happened over time in relationships. It could have happened because like this might be temporary because you feel like you lost something important. But I think the message keeps coming back to like, it's time for you to work on your own sense of self-value, because you're also such a wonderful person. And I think that you actually have more depth than this person does. And so if you could work on what has caused these insecurities within you and helps you to feel worthy again, and you can be authentically yourself in the world and be unafraid of other people's opinions and judgments and like what you will lose or gain, if you can find like a greater sense of security within yourself and your value, your life is going to expand. And you will be over here like with having the 10 of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups, and like you will be moving forward in life that is like your life will expand and become so much bigger if you are able to take whatever happened here and see where you are feeling not worthy and work on that. As hard as it may feel, as impossible as it may feel at times, I think that's actually what the message here for you is. It's less about this person on your mind. It's less about having contact with them. I honestly don't even think this person is important for your life. I could be wrong, but I think you will see your life expand in beautiful ways if you are able to come back to yourself and move forward, not toward them to try to fix this, but toward your own happiness, your own feelings of abundance, toward the relationships that are fulfilling for you, and and that feel like understanding of you, because I think that something else you might have experienced with this person is not being fully understood or taken seriously. And I think that also might be why there is this pain here. And I think that what you might be mourning or grieving is deeper and more than what this relationship was. I think that it goes to something deeper within you. And maybe you're mourning the hopes of what you thought it was, or it reflected something from when you were younger, and there is still grief there that you need to address. So let's see what they would say to you right now if they were being fully honest. What would group two's person say to them right now if they were being fully honest? Okay, we have the Hierophant and the Ace of Swords. We're going to start there. Okay, what would they say to you if they're being fully honest? Okay, again, we have this energy of, I swear, I say it in every reading, there's always someone feeling superior to someone else. But it does kind of feel like that, like this person, if they were being honest, I don't think they're as like light and fluffy and charming and amazing as you might think they are. I think that they might feel better than you, or feel like their ethics and morals are more true or something like that. Or there's a few different things. So I don't know what you will relate to here, but this person, for some of you, or you care more about like, you know, peace on earth, and they care more about power for themselves. That kind of thing. I hope that's making sense, but it kind of feels like if you could see them truly and they could speak to you truly, for some of you, this person honestly, like, it wouldn't be right for you anyway, because the things that they would be saying to you, you would suddenly, it would click. You would realize, oh, okay, shit, like this person is not for me. I don't know why I was chasing them. I don't know why I wanted them so badly. Like, I would never be happy with this. Like, you know, that's it for some of you. For others, I think this person would say that there's some very different energies here. I think this, for some of you, it would be that this person saw a bond with you and comfort with you, and they felt like you were matched in some way, and they maybe saw marriage potential. I think for some of you also, like working on your self-worth could also bring you back to this person if they were meant for you. If there really was a strong mutual bond and it really felt like there was long-term potential, if this was like romantic, it may have been insecurity issues within you that you were having to resolve in order to have this connection come back together. And if that's the case, if that's what feels right to you, this person wants to tell you that they still see that if you can come to a place of clarity and truth with them too. Yeah, I think it's kind of like it's this thing where it's like one or the other. There's like a few different energies here, and you'll know which one is yours, obviously. But for some of you, I think that it's time to realize this person wasn't the dream that you thought they were, and that the focus needs to be on you. For others of you, there is still potential here, and the other person will be open to it if you do the work. And you will know if that's you, because I think that it felt so real, and it was a situation where you felt you were on the same level, but somehow you messed up. And if you can be exceedingly truthful with yourself and this person, if you can work on, there definitely seems to be a self-worth issue here with this group. And that's not like everybody's got that to a degree. Like most people aren't like, I feel perfectly worthy of everything in the world. A lot of people have this issue, so don't be down on yourself about it. But you've got to do the work. Don't rush back into this person until you have addressed what happened and you are being so truthful with yourself. And then if this is a person that feels like long-term potential for you, a friend, a partner, whatever, once you have clarity and you're being truthful with yourself and you are addressing any issues that you see within yourself, then you can come back in. And I think that this person will be open to you if there is true potential there, because they love you too. And I think that while they may still think about you, they are willing to move on with their life if they have to. But there is an openness to you if you address what needs to happen. And if you don't, they will move on. And so will you. It will be okay in the end, but that's what it feels like. Let's see what their higher self or their spirit guides want to tell you. Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles. We've got the King of Cups. Well, they want to tell you you're going to be okay, no matter what happens. They absolutely 100% believe in you. So, on a spiritual level, their soul and their spirit guides see you in such a beautiful light, totally different than like this way that you're seeing yourself when you're beating yourself up or doubting yourself. They see your worth. They see your potential. They see your ability to dive into your own emotional state and find clarity and be able to make an offer to this person or to someone else that is right for you. You are meant to have the love and connection and friendship and all of the things that you desire with other people. And I think that they do want to encourage you to do the work on whatever has come up in the situation for you, and you're part of it. I think that the focus really is on like, okay, even if it was a small thing that I did, let me address why I did it, what my motivations were, what my intentions were, because you do feel like you messed up in some way. So how did you mess up? Why did you mess up? It's time to address that. And you're, I think, on the verge of doing that. And you really do have so much to offer another person already, but it's important for you to just dive deeper and see if there's anything that you can resolve within yourself in order to be the best you possibly can be for the person who is right for you, whether it is this person or someone else. And I see you having happiness and like having reciprocity and giving and taking and like having wishes fulfilled. they want you to know that it's all right here for you, and it's like close to you too. It's close by. Um yeah, and it's just another indication that you're not bad. There's just something to address. This relationship brought something to the surface for you to address so that you can live a happier life, so that you can have what you want in relationship and with other people and have happiness with yourself and like have a happy little family of some kind, you know, or a happy little community. And it's just showing too, like, if you view yourself as unworthy in some way, they're telling you that you are worthy and that, you do have so much to give. So it's like, why do you think that you don't? It's time to look at that. Why do you think that you don't have what it takes to have a wonderful partner or friend or whatever it is that you had with this person? Because you're incredible too, and in a different way, just like a totally different way for some reason. And it might be like, you know, opposites attract. I don't know. But they just want to encourage you. Like, you're already on the way. And I think that you had some kind of like slip here. Like you feel like you fell in some way. I don't even know if you did mess up or this person just made you think you did something wrong. Like, you know the answer to that, but that's it. Like, be truthful with yourself. And also, it is time to regulate yourself. Like, if you're feeling very emotionally chaotic, or like you're stuck in this grieving or this mourning, it's time to pull yourself out of it, to find the positives, to find yourself and like find calm, and even find other people that do love you. I think there is some feeling of like wanting approval from others and feeling like you're maybe not getting it. But you're like right there, and they just want to encourage you to continue and to pick yourself back up, because like there's so much goodness in life meant for you, and it'll feel so much better than this is feeling now or this felt. I think you've maybe been a little too hard on yourself, or even if you feel like that has been warranted, you're not meant to stay in that energy. You're meant to pick yourself up and learn from it. And it does really seem like you're mostly meant to look at yourself in this situation and what you can do better. Even if you did like 99% great and it was just that 1% thing you felt like you somehow messed up. And even if like, again, like if they made you believe you messed up to get away from you, you will also see that if you dig deep and like really look at what happened. Because that's possible too, that like they were like, oh, like you did this thing and I didn't like it. And they walk away and you're like, oh shit, what did I do? And maybe you didn't do anything wrong. And maybe like you need to come to terms with that, because you're so used to beating yourself up and being the person who did something wrong because people have maybe blamed you in the past and you've just accepted that blame. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that might also be what's happening. And you've got to get to the truth that of whatever happened and how it relates to you. And you will move forward into a more authentic life where you feel worthy of the things that you want, because you are. Okay. So let's look at your oracle cards for any final messages or advice. We have tune in and connect, nonverbal communication, intuition, messages. We have gentle moderation, take your time. Pressure from others or yourself can be released by renegotiating what you are trying to accomplish. We have sodalite, speak your truth. And we have mourn, full stop, conclusion. Your potion is console. And we have grieve. Okay, so yeah, this again talks about the mourning that you've been going through and the grieving that you've been going through and how it feels like you lost something important. And there's this very like blue energy of like having the blues or like, you know what I mean? Just kind of, it's almost like you're leaning toward depression and hopelessness more than like crying for some reason. And I think that if that's the case, if you're relating to that, it's time to face the actual grief, because there's something in the grief for you that will move you through this. And I think it will tune you back into your spiritual connection and your intuition and bring you some truth. And the sodalite here, speak your truth. I think that this is speaking your truth to yourself and possibly to this person too. Once you've come to a place of truth and a place of clarity and like spiritual connection where you feel like yourself again, it's time to be deeply truthful with yourself. And you may already be, but again, it feels like there's something here that has made you feel like you're not worth something. And that's not the truth. So if that's what you're feeling, it is time to find the truth that you are worthy. And, you know, there is no hurry here. I think you're the only one that feels like you're in a hurry and feels like you need to fix this or it's gone forever. Or like, you know, whatever you did to fuck it up is just, you know, you got to fix it now. And that's not the truth. The energy here that I've gotten is actually, you know, take your time and slow down, because it's a lot more important to find your truth, because you're going to be fine. If you lose this person after you've taken the time to do this work, it's because you were meant to lose this person and there is someone much better for you. That's the message. And yeah, you're pressuring yourself in some way, and that you've got to slow that down and release that and forgive yourself. You need to console yourself or find consolation from other people or other community. But I think you've been way too hard on yourself, even if you did something that feels really, really wrong. It's time to forgive yourself for that and find out why you did it. Because you're not meant to stay in that energy. You're meant to have like happiness and equality and harmony and joy with other people and with yourself. And I think that there is some emotional work here to do. I think that you might be an emotional and sensitive person as it is, or you are meant to, but I think either way, you're meant to dive deeper into those emotions to move through them. To really like not sit on the surface of them, or like, you know, they've been kind of following you around. Like, I feel like you've been feeling emotional, but it's time to get to the core of them, to dive in, even if it feels like it's going to be so much worse. If you really dive in, do it, because it's going to eventually burst that bubble and you're going to have clarity. And like your intuition's going to be back online, and which is also going to increase your feelings of self-worth. That's it. That's all I've got. Okay, group 2. Thank you for letting me read for you. Let me know how this resonated. I do hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I hope this was helpful for you in some way. I hope that you find the peace that is yours. And again, there's no need to rush that. Just take your time. You're going to be okay. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, group 3. You chose the eggshells in this brown bottle. And we've got oracle cards here that we are going to take a look at the end for additional messages. But as a reminder, we're doing a no contact reading today on someone that you don't currently have contact with. We are going to start with an energy check just to make sure that this is your reading. And then we will look at how your person is currently feeling about you, what they would say to you right now if they were being fully honest, what their higher self or spirit guides want to tell you. And then we will take a look at your oracle cards, okay? So we're using the Catacorn Tarot for everybody today. I'm going to do a quick shuffle and we will just get right into it. Okay. So, group 3. Let's get a couple of cards for group 3. Okay, we've got the Page of Cups and the Tower. I actually think it goes this way in this case. Okay, and then let's get the energy of group 3's person, please. Interesting. We've got another page, the Page of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. Okay. So, I don't know what this means yet, but I am getting, I'm hearing something feels backwards here. So I don't know if you feel like something feels backwards to you. Maybe we will understand what that means as we look at the cards. So when we look at your energy versus their energy, let's see what we see. I'm also hearing blindsided. It's weird. The energy is very different than the other groups. It's weird because like the energy coming through is quieter and yet I'm hearing messages instead of seeing them. So I'm just trying to understand what I'm being told here. This isn't what I thought was going to happen. That's what I'm hearing too. So something feels backwards here, I think is the first thing we heard. Feeling blindsided. So I think that maybe this came as a surprise and that's why we have the Tower, this no contact, because it felt so like innocent and like there was so much potential and so much further it was going to go, and like it was just the start. So I think for a lot of you, it's like it feels like it ended before it began. Do you relate to that? It was like it was just the start. It's like, yeah, it ended before it began. I think you just feel like, what? Like, what happened? So it makes me think that if this is the case, the other person ended contact. And I wonder if it was like a situation where you sort of got ghosted, or, like, it doesn't feel as severe as like, we can't talk anymore, or like, you fucked up and now, you know what I mean? It's like, so that's why I wonder if you were ghosted by this person, because it seems so like, I thought we were going somewhere. I thought we were at the start of something. And I think that you were very hopeful. you were like, I think this is something. And this other person seemed like on the same level, but like grounded, and like maybe they were being, they seemed realistic, and they were like, moving slowly. And it felt like there was something that was beginning that was grounded and had roots. Like it was like you were forming roots. I think that's what it felt like. Like this could be something real. And then it just was like, what? And I think that this does feel like a romantic thing, probably. And I think that if that's the case, you did feel like attraction for this person and passion for this person. And it certainly felt like it was going somewhere. I don't know if this is someone you maybe like dated and it was like a few weeks or a few months or something like that. This definitely feels like it didn't get very far, or it definitely didn't get as, like maybe you saw it as lifelong potential, but it was only 2 years. But what I think is most of you, it's shorter than that, like weeks or months. And it doesn't have to be romantic, definitely not. Yeah, it's like something just kind of like changed everything. It's weird that it's the Tower because it doesn't feel like super destructive. It doesn't feel like overly dramatic. It almost just feels like, what? Like I said, like what happened? I think that's how you're feeling. And that's like all I'm really getting from this. I'm not getting a lot more. So I think blindsided. I think you were just kind of like, I don't understand. I just don't understand what happened. So let's see how this person currently feels about you. We've got the 5 of Wands. Oh. I wanted to say we've got a Runner, which I don't think I've ever like had that thought when a card fell on the ground. So I think like, again, like I'm hearing so many things that for this group for some reason. And I think like this person like ran. I don't know if they got too scared. It was like, it's okay. Yeah, I kind of feel like, so we have the 5 of Wands and the Hanged Man. But I kind of feel like as soon as it felt like it actually could start to get serious, they got scared and ran. I think that maybe they might be used to conflict, and either they are scared of conflict and they're doing everything they can to avoid it because they feel like close relationships bring conflict and chaos, and that's scary to them. Or alternatively, this person could prefer conflict and you seemed too peaceful. So there are a couple ways that could go. And what I think is happening here with the Hanged Man is that they are, it's like their perception of events is upside down, and they may not be seeing it clearly because of their own fears or their own patterns, depending on the situation. So it's like they were like, oh, I'm out of here because it's not going to be what I want. And I don't know if that's actually what would have happened. Like maybe they did have an intuition that this isn't what they want. And this is actually them having like a moment of awakening and seeing things as they really are. Or it could be that they just got scared. So how are they feeling about you? They are feeling scared of what could have happened or what was going to happen. They think that it was going to be either too boring or too chaotic. And that frightened them. And that's why they ran or hid. It kind of feels like they're hiding. This might be someone who shows back up after some time thinking, because the Hanged Man also can be about delays and waiting and time going by. And I think their fear moved very quickly, and that's why they moved very quickly away from you. But now they are thinking about it and considering. So they may be thinking about you and trying to have some more clarity about this. Like they're sorting through whether they were just scared, if they have fears to deal with. They might feel embarrassed that they stopped communicating with you, or they reacted too strongly to something that didn't need such a chaotic response. I would say I'm definitely getting a message that do not reach out to them right now, because you also may not see things clearly, but if they are scared, you're going to scare them more. And excuse me, if they legitimately feel like this is wrong for them, you coming after them is actually going to scare them if they didn't already have fear. So as much as you might feel like, what the heck, like this was something, it might not be meant to be. This person might not feel comfortable, and it may not be about you. It may be that they just don't feel comfortable being close to people. But whatever it is, they need to deal with it on their own without interference from you, even if you're like confused. And yeah, they may come back around, but they need some time. And if they don't come back around, it's time to accept it, because, you know, they may be too flighty, they may be too scared, or you guys might not be right for one another. And even if you feel hopeful and you think that it is something, if only like you could talk to them and understand, I don't think this is a situation where they're currently open to talking to you about this. I think that they are having feelings. Like when we look at how they feel about you, these feelings are about you in the situation, but they may not be accurate about you. So I do want to say that this is more about this person than it is about you. It's more about their fears, what they want, that kind of thing. And if they are too scared, you coming to like have communication with them about this is going to scare them off more. I know I've said it. I just want to say it again because it's coming through very strongly. Do not try to, if this person isn't talking to you, don't try to talk to them anymore. If like they may, like it may be no communication or no contact because they just dropped off. They may not have blocked you or anything like that. But if you've been like reaching out, stop, because it's going to create further distance, and they will come to you if they want to, and it may take some time. And so I would just say to have some patience as well, and realize that they may need this space, and just give it to them, you know? Even if there's something you really want to say and you think you could say exactly the right thing and then everything would be fine, don't. Okay. Let's look at what their higher self and their spirit guides want to relay to you. Okay. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Cups. I think we're going to pull a few more. the Two of Swords, and the King of Swords. Okay. Honestly, for some of you, I think that you're meant to take what you have to offer and take it somewhere else. That's for some of you. And so, yeah, because I feel like somebody else absolutely will want a long-term relationship with you. If this is romantic, again, could not be. But somebody else will meet you where you are. And these are two kings. That doesn't mean like you are a man and you're meant to be with a man. This isn't gendered, but this is like someone that can match you on your level. And it's a totally different energy than this other person. And I think that it would actually be more suited to you in some way. I think that you do have emotional depth or emotional maturity that can be matched with somebody who is communicative, honest, direct. And I don't know if you have, again, if this is a dating situation, I don't know if you've dated someone like this before. You might be used to dating someone that's more pentacles and you need someone who's more swords. I think that you're meant to be matched with somebody who can like match you intellectually or who is really smart. And again, like direct and honest and clear with how they feel and they talk. Like, I think that it's, you know, in the spiritual realm, this person's spirit guides, you know, we're asking their spirit guides, but a lot of times they just want what's best for us too. And I think that for a lot of you, what's best for you is to look for a different type of person. I think that you can actually mature and grow together and have a long-term commitment and know this person very well in a way that feels safer for you, because I think that you really need someone who is going to be direct and clear. And that's going to allow you to fully bloom into yourself and into how you are in relationship when you feel safe and supported. And you will also offer this person safety and support, and they will tell you what they need to feel that way. And you are ready to give and offer. And this person is also ready to give and offer and also to receive. I think that like you're ready for commitment. Or ready for whatever this relationship was, you're ready for more. And so like, I think what they're trying to say is like, just forget what doesn't work, you know, like it sucks, but like, it doesn't seem like there's a huge emotional investment. Find someone who's not going to feel confusing to you. And there's like so much more equality and transformation and growth with somebody who matches you in another way. I mean, you might be the more emotional person, which you might not be used to. I think for some of you, you've had to be maybe the more stable one, if that sounds correct. And you actually need someone with a good amount of stability who can hold you down too, like in a positive way, like, and really show up for you. I think that you really need someone who shows up for you. And I think that you really show up for other people. And this person you're not in contact with, I just get the feeling that they're kind of like flighty. The energy's not right. Like they may be like easily like, creeped out or scared or something. And like, it's a mismatch. I think that you're actually meant to be with someone totally different and more on your level in some way and more, mature, but there are still big differences between you, but ones that complement one another and work really well together. And, I think you may be attracted to types that don't stick around. or types that are sort of immature, or that like you may have had an attraction in the past to people who are just not totally right for you, but it's time to focus more on like, does this person feel stable, responsible, adult? Do you feel safe with them? Like, even if there's not immediate passion, I think that your wish will be fulfilled when you focus more on how safe you feel, how grounded you feel, if you feel like they are responsible, if you feel like you are in good hands, if you feel committed to, if it feels sort of like more grounded. Another thing is I think that you might feel like you're growing roots with somebody, but when you actually are, you're going to realize there's a big difference, because you're coming through as cups and someone who has like emotional depth and sensitivity to a degree, even if that's not something you really show the world. And so you might have these sort of like Pisces qualities of seeing the best in a person or a situation in a way that may not be true. Like, you may not be seeing what's actually in front of you until things play out. Like, you might be dreamy or imaginative or hopeful or idealistic in some way. And that's not a bad thing. But it may be preventing you from seeing clearly at times. And there is so much more happiness with a different type of person. And, I think that you're meant to like kind of slow down and be more logical. So I think that you can be, not that you're illogical or not rational, but there's a need to, instead of like balancing logic with emotion and like idealism with realism, it's more like realism with realism, logic with logic. Like, there's an encouragement, and not to change you or yourself, but specifically with romance or friendship or whatever this is, there's an encouragement to be very logical and rational about things, and to look at things as they are instead of as you hope them to be. And it's like, you don't have to lose yourself, and you don't have to fully let go of your, the dream of what could be, or your hopes, or your like the feelings of like, positivity or idealism. It's not that fully has to be thrown out the window. It's just like, set it slightly in the background and focus on clearing your mind and being, more like practical when it comes to these situations. So if this is like dating, and like you do have like maybe a pattern of like these same things happening to you, it's like, okay, can I give someone else a chance that maybe like I find attracted, but I'm not drawn to as intensely as I normally am? Let me give this person a chance and see if there is something there, because I think that you're going to be surprised that there's another type of person that's actually your type once you discovered it. And you're going to be like, oh, thank God. This is what I wanted this whole time, and I was looking in the wrong place. And I think like what you hoped for with this person you're not in contact with is what you actually can truly have with someone who can match you, and someone who can give. And again, like, I know I've said this, but you want to look for someone who is direct right off the bat, and not necessarily like hurtful or overly blunt. I mean, blunt might be actually good, but someone who feels honest, who is saying what they think and what they mean, and you will feel a sense of safety with that, because finally you're getting what you give, because I think that you let your intentions be known, and other people kind of like have like fucked with you in the past a little bit. And I think it's been really unfair, and you've still just kind of like kept your cool and kept going. And it's like, it's disappointing, but you're like, okay, like, I just think whatever you thought you had with this other person, I don't think you need to worry about that. Like, honestly, if they are going to come back in, unless they're showing up as this King of Swords and they are being very direct and clear with you, forget them, because it's not the energy for you. It's not going to make you happy. It's going to create chaos that will only expand. And like, you know, if you are a sensitive person, it's going to mess with you. And I think that the spirit guides want the best for you, and they want you to find what's actually meant for you. And it's really beautiful in a way that feels so safe and stable and comforting and grounded. And it's like you can really build a home with this person. Like, maybe literally, maybe not, but yeah. And I think you would have like really wonderful conversations with this other person. And like, you know, they might almost seem like stern at first, or closed off in some way, because they might be guarded in a healthy way. And that's actually a good thing. I think you could possibly be drawn to people that seem very open. And I think that you have a certain amount of openness with that. But actually what you might want to look for more is someone with a healthy level of protection, where they have boundaries, you know, they don't give every single thing to you immediately, because your trust needs to be earned. And I think that that is really good. And you would feel so comforted by that. And you would really expand into the best version of yourself. The person you've always wanted to be in relationships, but like you're not always given the chance. And this is someone you can, you know, have projects with, or kids with, or ideas with. Like, you might be creative with this person, this other person, this new person. Yeah. And this is someone who can match your level of maturity and like adulthood. And like really is quite beautiful and attractive in this way that you may not have realized before. Like, you might really realize that your type is totally different than it once was. Like, your person is your type, and you used to have a type, and now it's this person. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, sorry, your reading might be a little bit shorter, but there's not much more to say. Let's look at your oracle cards for any additional messages. Okay. We've got go after your goals, persist, encourage, advance. We have polite declaration. You can move in whatever direction you need to accomplish your goals. It is time for you to get out there, claim what is yours, and stay in your power. We have bloodstone, get up, get moving. And we have impede, blindfold, hampered, unseen issue, rope, constrained, tied down, and your potion is sight. Okay. Well, I wonder if, because 3 of these cards are very much about moving toward your goals. And so I wonder if, on the one hand, you dealing with this person you're not in contact with has impeded your progress toward your goals and in life, like maybe toward the other things unrelated to this relationship that you've wanted to move toward. And maybe you thinking about this person and wondering what happened is just slowing you down. And it's like, you don't need to hold on to this. Like, let it go and move forward. And if you do have goals, it is absolutely time right now to be moving toward them, and not like pressure, like not like, oh, you're going to mess up if you don't do everything right now. It's just, this is the time. Start moving forward and start reassessing things and thinking about things. This can also be about your goals in relationship. Again, if it's like romantic, it's time to redirect yourself toward what you really want in relationship. So, I don't know if you've already made a list of what you're looking for, but it's like, not only is it like, okay, you want to be attracted to them and like you want there to be chemistry, but it's like, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel safe, steady, stable? Do you want excitement? What do you want? What would make you feel the best long term? It's time to get clear on those things, more so I think than the qualities in the person or what the person looks like. Yes, like attraction is important if it's romantic, but how do you want to feel? And then, go into battle. Like, if you date online or whatever it is, arm yourself for that, and do not continue to allow people in that are not matching that. And also allow yourself to give someone or people a chance that you may not normally. Like, you may be closed off to a type, not because of how attractive they are or not, but because you think that it's not your type. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to do with their physical looks. It's something else that you may have been like not into. And it may be time to reassess that a little bit. But yeah, it's like, it's totally time to find what's actually meant for you in life, in relationship. And it's time to move forward toward that because you're ready. You're ready for this kind of relationship. And if you're dating people or having people come into your orbit that are not, then it's time to switch something up and get moving in the right direction. I think that you have also been blindfolded to a certain degree, but it's like, you need to have clear vision, but also it's okay to like shut down some of your senses a little bit. Like, almost like if you look at someone at first glance and you're like, no, it's like, okay, wait, if I give them a minute, am I attracted to them? Like, am I interested in them? So it's in one sense, take off the blindfold so you see people more clearly, but in another sense, put a blindfold on. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining this well or not, but it's like, stop judging with just your eyes, something like that. Like, use more of yourself, tune into your inner self and how you're feeling, more so. And I think that's why I heard a lot of things in the beginning, because you're meant to maybe use your other senses. Like, you've been too focused on like base attraction, and maybe it's like, close your eyes and hear their voice. Do you love their voice? Does something in it make you feel something good? Or like, tune into your body. How do you feel around them? Do you feel safe? And like, don't force yourself to date someone you're not attracted to, but I think that you might be surprised at who you are attracted to. Yeah. And I think that's pretty much it. And, overall, your energy, like, it's pretty good and pretty positive. Like, I don't think that you're really, really upset by this no contact situation. I think it's been confusing to you. And I think that you're highly, highly encouraged to get back up and to move toward what you want in this realm of life. And find it, because I'm showing that you are ready for it and you're meant to have it. So good luck. And group 3, I think that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for letting me read for you. It was a pleasure. Let me know how this resonated for you. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I will see you in the next one. Bye.